Today we're going to go over the revision and revising process for our writing. It's important, even as an adult, when I am writing something, I need to reread it a few times to make sure that it makes sense and that it matches what's in my head. So I'm going to read through this twice, and then we're going to do a little revising. That means adding words that maybe I left out, or changing words to make it sound more like what's in my head. So let's go ahead and read this. To whom it may concern. Last week celebrated Earth Day. I was thinking of ways to help our planet. One way could help is to pick up trash in our communities. We could plan a day everyone to help out. We could send emails and pass flyers so everyone would know when to pick up trash. I think this would be a good way to clean up our area. Thank you for reading my letter and considering my, sincerely, Mrs. Newsom. Now, I can see right away that I have all 5 parts of the letter. I have the greeting, to whom it may concern. I have the date, 4-27-20, and we wrote it yesterday, so we don't need to change the date. I have the body, sincerely, and a comma, Mrs. Newsom. Now, I don't know if you could tell, but I could tell when I was reading it out loud to myself that there were a lot of things that I left out. Right now, I'm not going to correct punctuation or capitalization. I'm first just going to look at the words that I've left out. So let's read that first sentence again. Last week celebrated Earth Day. What could I add in that sentence to make it make more sense? Last week, I celebrated Earth Day. Or I could even say, we celebrated Earth Day. But already that sentence makes more sense. Okay, let's read the next sentence. I was thinking of ways to help our planet. Does that sentence make sense? I was thinking of ways to help our planet. Yep. Okay? One way could help is to pick up trash in our communities. And without even doing anything else, I can already tell I left out a word in that sentence because it was awkward to read it. One way could help. Is there a word we could add in there to make it make more sense? How about one way we could help is to pick up trash in our communities? We could plan a day, everyone to help out. We could plan a day for everyone to help out. And I could probably even get rid of the word out, even though it makes sense. We could plan a day for everyone to help. I just think that sounds better. It sounds more like what's in my head. So I'm going to go ahead and add the word for and cross out the word out. We could send emails and pass flyers so everyone would know when to pick up trash. When to pick up the trash? Okay, maybe that would make more sense. I'm going to go ahead and add that too. Next sentence. I think this would be a good way to clean up our area. I think this would be a good way to clean up our area. I'm going to change the word area to community, not because it's wrong, but because it makes it sound more like what's in my head. It makes it sound a little bit more formal. And I may want it to sound a little bit more formal since I'm writing to a state representative. Okay, let's read that sentence again, make sure it sounds good. I think this would be a good way to clean up our community. Thank you for reading my letter and considering I could add ideas, my plan. Let's go ahead and add the word ideas to the end of the sentence. Already, I feel like my letter makes more sense. To whom it may concern. Last week, we celebrated Earth Day. I was thinking of ways to help our planet. One way we could help is to pick up trash in our communities. We could plan a day for everyone to help. We could send out emails and pass flyers. Oops, I did leave one more word out. See, it's important to read it again. We could send emails and pass flyers so everyone would know when to pick up the trash. Did you guys hear it when I read it again? We could send out emails and pass out flyers. I'm going to go ahead and add that word. We could send emails and pass out flyers so everyone would know when to pick up the trash. I think this would be a good way to clean up our community. Thank you for reading my letter and considering my ideas. Sincerely, Mrs. Newsom. Now, I think that letter sounds pretty good. Now I need to go back through one last time and correct capital letters, punctuation, and maybe see if I can check some of my spelling. So let's go ahead and read the first line again. Last week we celebrated Earth Day, period. So I have a capital letter at the beginning of the sentence and I have a period at the end, and the sentence sounds good to me. Next sentence, I was thinking of ways to help our planet. Now, we know when I stands alone that it needs to be capitalized. And right there, even at the beginning of my sentence, I made a lowercase I. So let's go ahead and fix that. If you notice, the mark I made to show that I wanted to capitalize it was 3 lines under the letter. Do you see that? So that means when I go back and write it again, I need to make that capital. I also noticed when I was correcting that capital letter that I did not put a period at the end of the sentence. So I put a period and circled it. So when I write this again, I know that I need to add a period. Okay? One way we could help is to pick up trash in our communities. I do have a period at the end of that sentence, but one is not capitalized. So I'm going to go ahead and correct that as well. We could plan a day for everyone to help. We could send emails and pass out flyers so everyone would know when to pick up the trash. Now, I'm not sure I spelled flyers right, so I should have underlined this word. And now because I've underlined it, I can check either with my mom or my dad, or I could ask a friend, or I could Google it, okay? So I actually did Google this word to make sure that I spelled it correctly, and I need just to change this Y to an I, okay? We could send emails and pass out flyers so everyone would know when to pick up the trash. I think this would be a good way to clean up our community, okay? Again, I left an I alone, and it's at the beginning of the sentence again. I need to make sure that's a capital I. All right? I think this would be a good way to clean up our community. Thank you for reading my letter and considering my ideas. Oop, I left off something very important on the end of that sentence. A stopping mark. I need to let them know that my thought is over by a period. I'm going to circle it so I pay attention to it when I write my final copy. Now, since you are typing this, I'm not going to see the ways that you corrected it. I'm going to see the final product where everything is as good as you can make it, okay? But I just wanted to show you that process because it's been a while since we have done that together. Hope you have understood and enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing your finished letters.